Welcome back to another episode of Lowkey Unforgettable. I don't know why. Was that Natalie Cole? Just popped in my head. Or Nat King Cole with Natalie Cole. I know that was her dad. But either way, Unforgettable. That popped in my head, y'all. Crazy. Okay. So first I want to do some keeping. What is it called? Housekeeping, right? So I want to get some things out of the way. Please share this podcast, especially if you or your friends or if you know anybody who loves Insecure as much as I do or as much as you do. Share with your friends, share with your family, tell them about it. Tell them it's fun. Tell them it's a good time. And it is. We're only one episode in. Well, this is the second episode. So this is season 1, episode 2. And I'm so excited. I'm figuring this thing out. This is a kind of like a passion project podcast. It's a hobby podcast. I don't know if that's the word. That's how I want to phrase it. I'm not sure. I don't know what I want to call it. Either way, I love this comfort show podcast. I don't know. You name it, call it whatever you want, but share it with your people, please. Tell them about it. Like, comment, subscribe to the YouTube channel, please. It helps. And I greatly appreciate it. Believe me, engage with the content. It's there for you. And I appreciate you. We have a lot on the channel that you can go back and watch, vlogs, all the things, podcasts, I Pick Passion and Funny, which will be back for season 2. I just want you guys to please be here. I appreciate I'm trying to build this community. And that's always the goal, always the mission. And people that want to be here. And I appreciate you for being here. So yes, please, again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all the things. So yeah, Lowkey Unforgettable, y'all. We're back this week, season 1, episode 2. It's a good time. I'm so excited to be here and be doing this thing. Right now, it is an audio podcast only. I'm just kind of playing around with the idea of it just being audio. I know audio is not necessarily the most likable way of getting our content these days, but I do believe that audio is still important. You can listen to this on YouTube or Spotify or Apple Podcasts. So I do believe there's still a place for audio podcasts. I know it's not the main way that people like to get it these days, because podcasts are bigger than they used to be. It started off audio and people started getting the visuals and all the things. And so now that we have the visuals, we're kind of like, audio, nah. Some things we might still get audio, but our podcasts, we usually try to get those in visually. And I get it, because I am also that girl. I love a visual podcast. I prefer to watch my podcast visual. So I understand. But you guys, please, 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 please support anyway, as this is just a fun podcast that I'm doing out of love for Insecure. So it is called Lowkey Unforgettable. The name, I believe, is kind of self-explanatory. I explained that last week also. If you didn't listen, go back, please, and listen. But yeah, this week we are rewatching the second episode and love it. We left off the last episode, things is heating up. I will just say that. And so we left off with the broken pussy. And so now we are going to get into the second episode. Well, not only did we leave off with the broken pussy, I should say, but we also left off with Molly's broken pussy. And Molly and Issa made up after Issa came over after she went to Daniel's place. Daniel came out because she was contemplating, what am I doing? Daniel came, got in her car. They had words, they exchanged words, and then after that, she went to Molly's place because she needed her girl. You know what I mean? She needed her girl, and she needed her also. They needed each other. So it was mutual. So now we start off this episode. We are in the bathroom. Issa is in the bathroom. Basically looks like she's, do you want your man or not? Do you know your plans or not? Issa's in the bathroom. By the way, I forgot to do this part, which is an important part, because we know this is how we start off every episode. We start off every episode by, and I almost forgot. Y'all almost let me forget. So yeah, we start off every episode by shouting out the writer and the director of that episode, and also giving the title of that episode. All right, so the second episode is titled Messy as Fuck, okay? And the writer was Issa Rae of this episode. Shout out to Issa Rae. And the director was Cecile Emeke. Emeke. I'm not sure how to pronounce that, and I'm so sorry that I'm sure I'm butchering your name, but Cecile Emeke. She was the director for that episode. So shout out to her. Yeah. So anywho, back to what we were talking about. So Issa D is in the bathroom. She's contemplating, look like for a second she's just like, what? Trying to get her thoughts together, like, what am I doing? What's happening? What's, you know what I mean? And then she gets into her zone, and then she comes out and starts rapping. We got our mirror rap. You know what I'm saying? So, do you want your man and all? Do you know your plans and all? That's where we're at right now. You gonna claim your throne and all, okay? Whose name I don't remember. She's in Molly's bathroom, which I forgot that. She is in Molly's bathroom. So Molly calls her name out and tells her she's hungry. And they're ready to go out to eat. So they're at this really nice spot. So she's like, you went to Daniel's? And she told her she went to Daniel's. She's like, and nothing happened? She's like, at all? She said, I didn't even go inside. She said, you got on stage. She said, about my broken pussy and for nothing? Like all that for zeroed it? She said it wasn't even about Daniel. It was about her. She said, I became someone else up there. She said, it was no fucks her. She said, you used to be that person. That's what Molly told her. She said, what, you trying to be a rapper now? She said she just don't want to be scared to do shit anymore. And I get that. You know what I mean? You just don't want to, you don't want to be afraid to do something that might scare the shit out of you or whatever it might be. You just don't want to, you want to get out of your comfort zone. You want to do something that may not be even the popular thing. But it's like, you know what? This is what I want to do. And it is what it is. Like, I don't want to let anything, circumstances or anything hold me back. And this is what I want to do. I just don't want to be afraid to do shit no more. I get it. Get out of your comfort zone, get out of your head. Because most of the time when it's something we don't want to do or we don't do something, it's because we're in our own way. It's nobody else holding you back but you. We're just in our own way. So you got to get out of your own way and allow yourself to do something. So, and I'm not just saying like what she did, do that. I'm not saying do that to your friend. I'm not saying do that. I'm not saying get on stage and talk about your friend subliminally. That's not what I'm saying at all. But just do something that scares you. Something that maybe you wouldn't ordinarily do. But now you're like, you know what? I'm going to get out of my own way and I'm going to do this. So that's just a message in general, right? Back to the show. She said, rest sound real cool, but can't you just leave my shit out of it? She said, I'm really sorry for saying your pussy's broken. She said, you was right. My pussy is broken and I need to take better care of her. So she said she's going to get her a tune-up. She's like, a tune-up? Like she needs her oil changed? But your pussy going to pass the smog test? Today is Molly maintenance day. She said, she'll get her hair done, her nails done, everything did. Okay, like a fancy day. Lawrence is calling Molly. Damn, East got him sick. Calling Molly. Where is she? Now he calling his boy. To Hear More. Shout out to Hear More. Shout out to comedian To Hear More. He's in this scene. Y'all know Tahir was in this first time we're seeing him in this scene. First of all, those nachos look so good. I think those are nachos. If they're not, they look amazing. And Fast Mike. So yeah. Shout out to Tahir More. He calls his bro because he's like, first of all, Fast Mike got fat as fuck. That's hilarious. So he calls his boy because he needs support. And he's at the bar, Fast Mike, and he said he want to call him Slow Mike. Whoop-de-woo. How he asked about Whoop-de-woo. First time we're hearing about Whoop-de-woo, he said he's still working on his business plan. Hard to break into the market. He said, how are you and old girl? Lauren says Issa's cool. He said he kind of fucked up her birthday. You tell him he got to fix it. And he's so distracted looking at the game. Lawrence was trying to talk to him. He gone. So he wasn't even paying attention to what his boy was trying to tell him. So Lawrence just sitting there solemnly. First of all, that peach color that they showed her, the woman's hand, getting her nails done, that peach color was really pretty. So now they're in the nail shop looking at, she said, Lawrence, did she ask her if Lawrence ever sucked her toes? She said, you getting a pedicure? She said, I probably should. She said, yeah, Lawrence ever suck your toes? She said, it made us uncomfortable. So Molly says that Issa says, girl, someone else might be. Because Molly says that nigga is the one. And Issa's like, or someone else might be. And she's like, I like Lawrence. She's like, I love him. Bitch, I love him. I mean, maybe I'm not satisfied. Maybe I want to be dick down properly. Maybe I want to be face down, ass up, surrounded by foreign freaks. Maybe I want to ask a nigga what that pussy. What? First of all, did she say foreign freaks? I'm looking at the captions, y'all know, because this is on mute. I'm like, I don't remember her saying that. I must have never caught that. She said surrounded by foreign freaks. Foreign freaks. Okay. All right. Okay. My look at her like, what? She walks away from her, which I would have done too. She said, I'm just saying, Lawrence hasn't put it down in a very long time. And maybe I need to get on one of those apps. Girl, calm your deprived ass down. Yeah. She said she just want to see what's out there. She said, all right, you asked for it. So Molly proceeds to show her OkCupid. She proceeds to show her and talk about the kind of guys that are on this app. Oh, the guys that she's been on dates with and what she's experienced from this app. Yeah. So speaking of, because y'all know I like to, interject with my own personal story. So yes, I have tried online dating. I tried it one time. I would say one time. I don't think I might have dabbled a little bit looking, but I never went but on one date. I went on one date from an app. What app was it that I even had downloaded? What was it, y'all? It was that real pop. What was the one? Man, I'm like, what was the name of that app? I'm going to tell y'all in a second because Tinder. It was Tinder. It was Tinder, y'all. I was going to say Hinge, but it was Tinder. I remember trying Tinder and I was like, let me see what this online dating thing is about. This was some years back. At the time, there wasn't as many dating apps as it is now or as they are now. But I said, let me try this thing out. And this guy, he was very attractive guy. I won't say no names, but he was very attractive. He had the muscles, bald head, nice complexion. It's very attractive. Everything that I was like, okay, physically, we matched or whatever, we had conversation, we exchanged some conversation on the app before we actually exchanged phone numbers. And then, matter of fact, I was still living at home at the time. I was still living at home. So yeah, I was like, so it's been a minute. So yeah, he called me and then next thing you know, he started contacting me from all these different numbers and it was like then he had all these different emails and he did a lot of things. I remember he was like military. He was like, I think he might have been a police. To be honest, I was never really clear about what he did. And like I said, it was just weird. It just got real weird, I met up with him once. He wasn't catfishing me. He was exactly what his profile picture looked like. And the pictures on his page. He was exactly who he said he was as far as, the physical, but it wasn't going anywhere. I never really knew, I knew who he was physically. I could see that. But as far as anything beyond that, I was like, who are you? Who are you? It just got very weird. To be honest, I don't even remember if I ever told him, if we ever had a conversation, or did we just stop talking? To be honest, I don't even remember what happened. I might have just started ignoring him and then I don't remember, because at that time, y'all, I was younger. I probably wasn't really handling things the way that I would. I wasn't handling breakups it wasn't even a breakup because we were never together, but I really wasn't handling, I probably ghosted him, to be honest. I don't know if I ever had at that time, if I had the proper tools or if I kind of avoided that awkward conversation at that time. So I probably didn't even tell him. I'm pretty sure. I think I just probably ghosted him and then he just stopped calling. And next thing you know, I don't think I blocked him. I don't even remember if I did block him, to be honest. I don't remember. All of that part is a blur. But all I know is I could not figure out who this guy was. And he was giving me funny vibes because I really just couldn't put a finger on who this guy was. Professionally, what he was about, what he was up to. He just felt like he had things that he was up to that he was not being fully honest about. And it was just like, who are you? The way he was sporadic when he would call or when I would hear from him, it was just like odd at times. It was just, everything was just weird. And he wasn't active military. I want to say that. I don't want to he was not active military. I would understand if he was active military and, I get it. But he was not active military. But I know he was still doing some work or doing, I don't know. He was just, I feel like this makes me sound bad, but because I'm like, well, maybe it made sense that he was the way when he called or how maybe it was just, but he had all these different numbers. And it was like, dude, what do you do? Who are you? Who are you really? And he would never tell me. It was never clear who he was. And so for me, and I guess maybe I could have been patient because maybe it would have all came out in time who he was. Maybe he wanted to get to know me more before he told more of himself or before he, kind of like gave me more of who he was. But all these different emails, he would email me from all these different emails. He had this phone number, that phone number. And then lo and behold, because we were friends on Facebook. And shortly after I stopped talking to him, he ended up married with a child. And I'm thinking like this wasn't that long. I know the time in between hadn't been that long for him to have gotten with somebody and conceived a child and had the child. I was like, okay, well, So in other words, I believe that what I always felt about him, he was hiding something. And I believe I was right. And we didn't talk that long. It was not very long at all before I just kind of started to get funny feelings about him. So whoever he was or is, shout out to him out there in these streets. I don't know what he's doing, if he's still married. Honestly, are we still even friends on Facebook? I don't even know. But I don't know if he's still married. I don't know if he has a bigger family at this point. I don't know anything about this guy. I haven't followed up, haven't checked in a very long time. So, as a matter of fact, the last time I wasn't checking, I just happened to see it. You get on Facebook and you see, oh, okay, well, that's interesting. You kind of go back and you're like, well, wait a minute. Try to figure out the time frame. And you're like, well, this doesn't really add up. So anyway, that's the moral of the story. So dating apps, I say all that to say, dating apps, you have to be very careful. We all know that. We've heard the stories. We've heard the horror stories of people that get catfished. People aren't really even who they say they are at all, even physically, in the physical form. At least this guy was who he was. He was who he was in the physical form. I even believe his name was really his name. But I just feel like, dude, who are you really? You're not really giving me who you are. I feel like there's more to who you are and you're hiding something. And like I said, those phone numbers and all that stuff was very suspicious to me, calling me from different numbers and all that. What is going on? Emails, all these different emails, random emails. It got weird. I couldn't do it, y'all. I just couldn't do it. So be careful dating online. But I get it. We live in a day and age that, that's the way, you know what I mean? A lot of people, that's how people communicate these days. A lot of people, younger generations and things, they don't really even know how to communicate, other than on a dating app. They've never actually interacted out in the street and met somebody, and they don't know what that even is to meet somebody and say, hey, how are you? Make conversation and get to know someone. It's harder for some people in general. But so it's like hiding behind that app is kind of like but you got to be careful when you hide behind something like that. You don't know who you're getting, what you're getting. You don't know what you're getting yourself into. So if you're going to do it, I just say proceed with caution. I'm not saying I'm totally against it for people. I think these days they've perfected the dating apps and a lot. I believe, I don't know this to be 100% true because I haven't done it myself, but I believe that with technology and new dating that dating has, online, I believe it's gotten better. They probably have implemented a lot more safety precautions, whether it be, maybe putting your ID, you have to put your ID on anybody just can't get on. You have to maybe they do like background checks. I don't know how deep they go or how far they go, but I do believe that it may be safer. Possibly. I don't know that. I haven't heard. People don't talk about it anymore like that. But I know there's so many other options that you can, online dating, more apps now than just a Tinder or something like that. So get out there if you want to figure it, hey, explore. Have a great time. Just be very safe, ladies, especially. Men too, because women do catfish too. But anyway, so that's my story. So I deleted the app. After that, I said, you know what? This ain't for me. Whoever is meant for me, I'm going to meet them in person. Whoever's meant for me, hey, I'll be meeting you in person. And if I don't, hey, when it's meant to be, it will be. But I am not. I was like, the dating online, I don't think it's for me. I am more of we meet, we interact, we lock eyes. We make conversation, whatever, wherever I meet you, whoever you are. That's the kind of girl I am. So I was like, I don't know if this online dating thing's for me. So I deleted it immediately after, deleted the app. Got rid of it and never to put it back on my phone again. I want to say I did put another one on my phone one time that I was hearing it was very popular. And I just kind of got on there and just kind of looked. You know what I mean? Like, oh, but I never did it, never talked to anybody, never actually reached out, never tried. I just wanted to see what was actually on there. And it was not given. So I deleted that one too. So yeah, but do you, whatever works for you. Again, just be safe. Back to the show. Now it's basically a fuck app. Oh, okay. So the app, yeah. So she's telling her, Molly's basically telling Issa, she's like, hand your least pulls from your network. Wow. Yeah. Molly's so funny. I thought that nigga he was fine. And then he had the nerve to dump me because I told him you grew up in LA and never went to the beach. Yeah, that's wild. I don't know. Issa's like, you grew up in LA and you never went to the beach. Yeah, that's wild. How do you live in Los Angeles, grow up in Los Angeles, and you've never been to the beach? I don't understand that. Personally, the beach is my favorite place. The beach is everything. How do you grow up in a place with a beach right there, like surrounded by beaches, plural, beaches, and you've never been to the beach? That's wild. That's wild. I don't really understand that. But anyway, she said she was a hood rat. Okay. All right. She said they're just trying to fuck. I just want to up the quality of dudes that I meet. She said there's one app called The League. It's for elite dating. A 3-month waiting list. To meet one nigga? Issa said to meet one nigga? She said, yeah, this is a lot. She said, I'm going on a date with this frog tomorrow. He could be different. She says, what we doing next? She said, I got to get my hair done and then something else. She said, what? A facial for your vagina. She said, fuck, I guess I'll go home and deal with this motherfucking relationship. Hilarious. She was trying her best to stay out, but Molly was like, girl, I'm going to get this facial for my vagina. So, yeah. She's like, so she pulls up to the dune. She pulls up. You the boss, this bitch. Okay, you're a grown ass woman like Solange sis. Okay, she in the car rapping, trying to amp herself up. You know what I'm saying? Okay, and then she pulls the fuck off. And this is one of the best parts of the show. Period. She runs into Lawrence at the store, and at the dollar store. She runs into him. I want to say it's a dollar store, right? He's picking out stuff for her, a birthday card, picking out little birthday stuff because his boy told him he got to fix it and he feels bad that he has to fix the situation. He's about to walk out and he looks back and he sees Issa and she is buying panties. Where have you been? I've been calling you. I had my phone on airplane mode. What the fuck? You're buying panties? Why you gotta be all out? Why you buying panties? It's cheaper. It's not like it's the cute kind. Wait, are you not coming home? Keep ignoring me. Right, fighting Rite Aid. Yeah, they're in Rite Aid. So it's not the Dollar Tree, but yeah, Rite Aid. That's why I forgot it was Rite Aid. So she walks away and yeah, damn. Lawrence, wait. He thinks she's about to apologize or say something. Can I get your Rite Aid card for the discount? Yes. I always felt like in that scene, but I guess he paid for the stuff, even though I probably would have right then. In my mind, I was like, you know what would have been dope in that scene? If he turned around, walked away, and dropped the bags. Because I think all the stuff in the bags were for her. But I guess he obviously, didn't want to. He spent the money, paid already. Guess you don't just want to leave the stuff right there on the floor for someone else. But I always felt like that would have been dope in that scene. Like, I don't know. I pictured that happening. Like, him turning around, like, man, when she asked for the car, turn around and then drop the bags. Like mic drop. You know what I'm saying? I always felt like that would have been dope. I felt like it was fitting. I could be wrong. Let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me in the comments. Let me know if that's fitting for you. If you always felt the same thing should have happened in that scene, let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your thoughts are, please. I would love to know. Because I don't know why I always saw it that way. It just felt right. It definitely felt right. Okay, so Issa's on Molly's couch watching TV. Molly comes home. Girl, hey, look at you. I asked her how was her vajacial. She said my pussy is still broken. What are you doing here? Can I stay one more night? Flavor Flav already said yes. Why are you avoiding Lawrence? I kissed Daniel. And then it was finished. It was your old ass, your old lying ass. She said I did not lie because technically I did not go inside or fuck him. So she just lied by omission. I'm just tired. Yeah. She says, stay as long as you need. That's what friends are for. So they pour wine. They pour it up a little bit, sipping, sipping. She also has her presentation going. She says she got too much on her mind. She says she about to just wing that shit, no fuck style. And these white people, they're not even gonna know the difference. They're not gonna know. And then she asks Molly if she can borrow clothes for work tomorrow. So she steps in with Molly's suit, strutting with the pumps. Okay. They like, everybody's like, this is okay, this is different. Daniel said, what's up? We good? So Frida's talking about, first of all, they're blazer twins because they both actually have on the same color and blazer. So she's talking to her and she's basically telling her about the students, about their sports and at the school. And so she's like, yeah, don't you feel like, she said, that basically her saying that their interest in sports as if like, stereotypical that black people, black boys or black kids like sports. So she's talking about the outreach initiative. She says, you get my email? She said, I had a lot to do this weekend. She said, I want to step on your toes, but I spoke to some of the teachers at Thomas Jefferson, and it turns out the students have a high interest in sports. She said that's not outside of what they know. And don't you think that's extremely limiting? Huh? She said, no, I hear you. That is sadly stereotypical. Like, I'm sure there's other things that they can do or outside of what they know that, they can be exposed to. Culturally speaking, it's crippling for inner city kids to rely on sports. To achieve success. That is true. Take them to different neighborhoods and do a community cleanup. Bunch of black kids and have them clean up the streets like a chain gang. That's the whitest shit you've ever said. Community service is cool. So what she really wanted to say, and she, of course, did not say what she really wanted to say. So she kept it cute. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nobody likes her idea about the arts, exposing them to taking the arts around Los Angeles. She said, are you afraid to like visualize theatrical arts? Like, what kind of arts are we talking about here? Hilarious. To the broad. If they like music, we can take them to the Hollywood Bowl. She said, have you put together a budget on this? How much is this going to cost? The risk factors. We will also consider a community service component. Issa's idea. Let her finish. Culturally, it's just like, wouldn't they rather go to an African American museum, like a Latino museum? Wow. So Issa's, can I have a few minutes, please? Because everybody's talking. And yeah, Issa's like, so now the boss stands up. It's like, hey, we'll reconvene tomorrow, because clearly they could not come to a decision. So we're at Molly's work now, and they come in and they congratulate no girl about her engagement, and Molly's like talking about her diamond ring. Molly's tired of hearing about it, clearly. She tells her boss, now we're back at Issa's work. She tells her she's like, I'm fully invested and we got y'all. She said, no, you're not. She said, sorry. I wanted to make a difference. You seem passionate at first, but I've noticed you've been on autopilot for a while now. If you don't want to do the work, if you're no longer invested in what we're trying to do here, maybe this isn't the right place for you. Wow. She said, no, it is. Always having to prove yourself, right? So what we always have to do. She said, I want to be here. I will do better. The leader who does not take advice is not a leader. Proverb from Kenya. Date unknown. Interesting. Okay. I would agree with that, though. Because no matter if you are a leader, or no matter what it is that you do, or how far up in ranking or whatever you do, or whatever your position is in your career, you should never get to the point where you can't take advice from someone. You can't learn. That's like feeling as though you know everything and nobody can tell you anything. And that's so far from, that couldn't be furthest from the truth. You can always learn something. Somebody can always tell you something. You can always take advice from someone. In any aspect of life. So I like that. I like that. The leader that won't take advice is not a leader. So yeah, maybe you should reconsider, if you can't take advice, or you think you're too big for your britches, I'm sure we've all heard that, too big for your britches. Maybe you're not who you say you are. Maybe you're not the boss that you say you are, or that you like to believe that you are, if you can't take advice or can't, listen to others. Issa's at work. She's contemplating if she should call Lawrence. She pulls his name up in the call log. Hey, I'm so sorry. I fucked up. And she deletes it. Ha! You guys, the phone case in this season, fun fact, I actually had that phone case on my phone. If you remember the phone case, it said chill pills. I still have the phone case, but I have a new phone. So I had up until recently, I had a iPhone 12 Pro Max, and now I have a 17 Pro Max. But so I upgraded just actually recently, but I had that phone case for quite some time on my 12 because I've had my 12 for quite some time. I mean, come on, we could just do from the time. Matter of fact, I think the 12 might have been new when I got my 12. It might have been brand new. So I have from the time. Think of how long it's been since the 12 came out. It's crazy. But anyway, I had my 12 for quite some time, to say the least, right? And now the 17 is new. So anyway, I had the Chill Pills case, that exact case. I saw it and I was like, you know what? I was like, I love that case. And I went on Amazon and I pulled up the Chill Pills case, the exact case she had on her phone. I pulled that case up and I had it on my phone. And y'all that know, I'm sure that you guys have seen it, that know me or have met me, that know who I am, or have seen it on social. You might have seen it on my social. I don't know. You might have seen it around. But those of you, you know. If you know me, you know. And you seen me, you know that is on my phone, or was on my phone. I actually wanted to get it again. I think I looked on Amazon to see if it was they had it for the 17 Pro. And I said, you know what, Erica, do something different because I love this case so much. I used to get asked all the time in my AKA. I'm not an AKA, but because the colors were green and pink, and it was white also, but the green and pink, people thought often that, oh, she must be an AKA. And I am not. But shout out to the AKs. Anyway. So yeah, just a fun fact. I had that exact cell phone case and was inspired to get the cell phone case from the show. So Lawrence is taking the trash out, the trash that he just bought, and the card he just bought for her. The birthday card won't. The birthday Care Bears, Daddy. We don't use no C word, sweetheart. First thing to all of us. Yeah. Nigga stuck. She probably ain't putting it down. Way to make him feel even worse. Gotta spell fast. She getting so smart. Wow. Don't work out. I got bitches. Cool. Boo. 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 They looking at it, but kids did put mostly sports as their interests on the surveys. So we're back at Issa's work. And her and Frida going over surveys. Can't even imagine. She told Frida that her friend never went to the beach until she was in college. She said, my friend grew up around here and she was talking about how she never went to the beach until college. No way. Is she okay? She's like, yeah, she's fine. She's a lawyer, but what if we just take these kids to the beach to start? Even do your service idea and make it a beach cleanup. Word, twins. Hello, it's becoming our thing. So she just came up with her idea, huh? So Molly's on a date. So he's telling her that white girls have asked, is it true about the foot size? At least I believe that's what he was talking about. Let me go back, make sure I remembered that correctly. He was telling her about the worst dating experience. Oh, yeah, his shoe size. Yep. His shoe size, asking him, are the rumors true? He said white girls have no shame. So they're drinking wine, having pasta. And so Molly's date is over. You want to grab some coffee? He said, definitely. And then he says, you trying to fuck though? You motherfucker, you just think because you know some fancy wine, I'm just supposed to let you take me. No, he didn't say you want to fuck though. Wow. I don't remember this. I do not. I'm like, man, I don't remember this part. Didn't break my pussy, niggas. What did she say? Like, I remember this part, but I don't remember it. I didn't break my pussy, niggas, like you broke my pussy. And he walks off. I do remember this part, but I didn't remember the dialogue. But yeah, that's wow. So Lawrence texts Issa, you coming home. She's standing in the mirror, contemplating what to say. So I'm home. You still the same nigga? So she's stop the business. Nigga, how about that? She stares at herself in the mirror. Wow. So Molly gets caught eating a really good-looking, delicious burger as she's walking Flavor Flav, and guess who comes out and recognizes her while she's really not expecting to see anybody with her glasses on, very casual, not Molly coded, just casual Molly, not the Molly that you expect to see that wants to be seen. So Jared walks out, sees her full mouth, does she have mayonnaise on her? Yep. He's like, you got a little something over your face. Somebody runs out of a club and don't say goodbye. This was how Mike sent her. Langston Kerman. You know, I just put that together who that was. Shout out to Langston Kerman. That he was Jared the entire time. Comedian Langston Kerman. Shout out to wow. Yeah, like it just dawned on me that Langston Kerman was Jared. Come on. How did that just dawn on me? Shout out to Langston Kerman. Wow. Okay, Jared. Because I was just thinking, I was like, again, I said, I know who that is. Shout out to him. And shout out to the My Mama Told Me pod. But anyway, all right. I just wanted y'all to know that, Langston Kerman is Jared. Because I just had that. I was today years old when I put that together. So Issa gets home and she's walks into a dark apartment. And it's in the bedroom. Lawrence is sitting on the bed. Well, the lights are on in there, but the living room was dark. She sees a suit hanging up on the closet door. He was on his phone. He put his phone down. I guess I'm giving y'all a play-by-play. This is how this thing goes. But anyway, so they just awkwardly quiet, sitting on the bed. Got an interview with a headhunter tomorrow. That's great. I shouldn't have ignored you today. That's what she said. Thug Yoda spelled an entire sentence today. For real? That's brazy. And they both laughed. Woo woo! That was the end of the episode. Basically, they just, hey, sometimes you just say, you know what? It's not even worth going back and revisiting and what was said. And sometimes you just, move on, right? They shared a laugh. She apologized basically for saying I should have ignored you today. So she did acknowledge that. And yeah, I'm glad they were able to laugh and it ended that way. So anyway, share a laugh, share that moment. And now we have completed episode 2. So anyway, please tune in next week. We will be rewatching season 1, episode 3. Racist as fuck next week. So that's what we're going to be diving into. But anyway, please again, share, comment, subscribe, like, all the things. Please do. And can't wait to see you guys next week. This was fun. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. And please come back. Oh, and also, please rate on audio platforms. Please rate the podcast. Again, it does help. It helps the podcast be discoverable, people to find it, people to find out what we're doing, what we're talking about, what's going on. It helps people to find the podcast. So please, 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 please rate if you are listening. Please rate the podcast. I greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you guys next week. Peace.
Thanks for watching, guys.